Hello, everybody. Today morning, Odor Jagero and I are here at Amka Cafe, which is a cafe in the heart of Nairobi, right next to Lonro House. This place is so beautiful. And
It's actually inside Lonro House.
oh, it's actually inside
Yeah.
Lonro House. This place is so beautiful. Currently, we are seated at the bar.
We are sitting at this. Is it a cellar or what?
It's like a wine cellar. With
It's a wine cellar, yeah.
So much wine. This is like heaven for me. I love a nice wine bottle. So we're here, we're shooting from here today because we're collaborating with them. And we'd like to tell you guys to please come and patronize them because we will show you everything that they have to offer, from the food, the drinks, everything. Sasa leo tuko hapa kujivinjari to enjoy this. I like being here. It gives me the feeling of, when you're leaving the airport in the morning and then you check into your room and it's in a nice place, and then later we're going to go to the beach. That's the feeling this place is giving me. It's luxurious and chill and beautiful and nice. And the food smells good. I can't wait to see what we're going to eat. How are you feeling today, Jack?
No, I'm feeling good. Town is stuck inside, right inside town.
Yeah.
When I was going to school in this city, it used to be a lot of people, but these days it's chilled a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That means you can take a walk. That means you can go from point A to point B. It is not the city that I think over the years the city council has done something to this city, makes it look much better, a bit safe and things like that. Yeah, that's what I think about the city now. About Amka Cafe, they used to have one at the Westlands roundabout. I don't remember the name of the house. That is where I first knew Amka, run by a beautiful woman called Koi. And I've known her for quite a bit, and now we've decided that for us to change environment, we shoot in the studio, we change the environment, we go and enjoy food, we what is the word? What is it when you are trying to try? Yeah. You try out a little bit of dishes, and talk
Like
about it.
sampling and taste.
Sampling and tasting, yeah. Correct.
Okay, yeah, I love that. I was going to ask you, do you think it's a good thing that Tawa Kujaja? Do you think it's a good thing for
That?
I mean, for the business community? To me, it looks like a ghost town. When we were arriving, like when we were coming in, hakuna watu wengi. So I don't know if that means good for the economy or bad for the economy. It looks like...
I think Nairobi City used to have a lot of people that really don't have to be here.
Okay.
You see? Yeah,
Idlers.
yeah, a lot of idling around, especially up the road. There was a lot of idling. So this is mostly how European cities are, by the way. Just very chill, not having a lot of things, not having a lot of people. It will have the people that they need at any given time, and that I think is the most important thing. But just having a lot of people, while people are looking for a job and walking around in bashas and things like that, those days it was just chaotic. But now it is chill, and I think it can bring a lot of people here.
Yeah. Yeah, which means your walk to Amka Cafe from any state, from any corner of Nairobi is going to be easy and smooth. Today, I want us to discuss something. I want us to discuss sex and money.
I thought it was supposed to be money only. So there's also...
Everywhere I go, I have to bring up sex.
Okay. I thought it was money and food, but now it looks like it's going to be also sex. I'm not a fan of sex.
You're not a fan of sex? Karibu nitoboe siri hapa. Karibu niropokwe.
Unapokwa nini?
So what it is that I want us to discuss about money and sex is that, growing up in an African society largely, those are the two things that are very taboo to discuss. Sex and money. Africans are not very open when it comes to communicating about these two things. And I think it's important that, especially having this nice platform, that we're able to create a space where these conversations are normal as they.
Yeah.
And that's why I love talking about sex everywhere. Lazima niingize conversations of sex. And largely what I want us to talk about when it comes to sex and money is the fact that these two topics are very taboo in our community. The impact that causes, the consequences that come from that, and generally just our traumas around sex and money. On our ride here, we were talking about a little bit about the topic today. How actually when we were walking in and you were talking about Tao, ukasema, this city imekutesa. it has brought you a lot of trauma and a lot of horrible memories. So maybe we can start there. Tell me, why did you say that?
I think the city Nairobi. I think, and the city Nairobi is a place that has given me, in as much as it has been very traumatic to live in this city, it is one city that has given me my life, actually, the way it is and the way I see it today. I came to the city to study, basically, and then, and I think that is where now the trauma for sex and the trauma for money comes from, in that way. This city, when I came here, I didn't have school fees and I didn't have pocket money and I didn't have a girlfriend and I didn't have a family.
Yeah.
And so it was very, very tough, you know. So every time you walk the streets, you see people who are having money. All right.
Ooh,
You see, you see money around, but you don't have any of it. And I think that's very traumatic, and it gives you a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety and a lot of, you know, financial trauma. I think that is, and also when I was going about my business in this town, when I was in college, it was very rowdy. Like there was a lot of pickpocketing. There was a lot of roughness around the city. So that is why when I got into the city, it looks like it is a place that you don't want to be. It's a place that you feel like you don't belong. But then also life is also like that. Sometimes you feel like you don't belong in life. And so that sense of not belonging gives you that anxiety and gives you that fear. And I was telling you that I think trauma, whatever it is, whatever kind of trauma it is, it can have a very solid grip on you as a person, to the point whereby I think that we should be doing a lot of therapy around it. I think I should be having, you know, opportunity therapy, resource therapy.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. So yeah, that is basically what Nairobi City reminds me. But also Nairobi City reminds me of where you start from. You know, what it gives you. It is like somebody disciplining you or making you pass through a very tough.
Kufunzwa na ulimwengu.
Yeah, kufunzwa na ulimwengu.
Yeah.
You see, like being in an assault course. I don't know if you know an assault course. Assault course is where you go down the tunnels, you climb rocks, you do all these things. It can be traumatic, but it also the strength that you get from that is amazing. Yeah.
You come out a different person.
You come out a different person. So I think Nairobi, in as much as it has panel beaten me, it has,
Imekomosha pia.
for lack of a better word.
You know, I want to ask, what are some of maybe the tangible examples of trauma around money that you can say you have? What's your relationship like with money? How has this experience in Nairobi, or even coming from the village, how has it shaped how you see money throughout the years and right now?
So my relationship with money has been that of lack for since I was a child, perhaps. So you can trace this back to my schooling in the village. So in my school, I think my father was the only one that had that kind of, that was doing something. My mother was a housewife, right? But next to our school, there was a lot of activity. So kids would get sugarcane and then sell them for profit. And then they could also go and brew changa during the weekends.
Kids?
Yes.
Okay, how old are we talking?
We are talking class 6, class 7.
Okay.
Yeah, they go and with their parents. And you see, if you sell a glass of changa, then it is 5 shillings. And 5 shillings when I was growing up in Saturday 6 or Saturday 7 was a lot of money. Because there was mandazi was like 2 cents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or a shilling. I think a shilling. I think it was not 2 cents. A shilling was, mandazi was a shilling. So it means that if you have 5 shillings, I think it was Simone. Simone is actually 50 cents, right? Simone is 50 cents. So mandazi was Simone. That is 50 cents. So it means that if you had 5 shillings, then you could buy 10 mandazis.
Yeah. Simone ama Sumoni?
Simone in Luo, bro.
Oh, okay. Pole.
Wacha kucheka.
Nilikuwa na check load.
What is Simone? What is Simone in that is Swahili?
Sumuni is Swahili.
Like 50 cents.
Yeah.
No, but Simone, we call it Simone in Luo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So ongea Kiitaliano hapo juu tuko hapa kwenye maoni.
No. So my trauma started when my financial trauma started therein, hapo kwa high school, whereby you find kids that are coming with 5 shillings. Like it used to be the rounded one. The round, it says how many? Hexagon. Is it hexagon? Maria, is it hexagon? Yeah, it was hexagon.
Yeah.
You know?
Maria alikuwa hizo
No, ameona tu kwa TV. Maria was born in 2001. Maria, you were born in which year?
I don't think uliona
2001. How did I guess? Actually, I didn't know. I just guessed. So Maria was born in 2001 when I was doing my high school.
Yeah.
KCSE. You know, so yeah, so you come to school and you find people having 5 shillings, 2 shillings, 3 shillings, and you don't even have 50 cents, you know, or Simone as we used to call it. And that was very interesting because then you will have to be following these kids. So the way I would get to share the loot they have is that I will show them a little bit of how to answer the questions in class or answer math or do the English or write composition. So that is how I would get a little bit of money. But it was very traumatic because sometimes what used to happen that is very interesting is that at break time, you'd have to follow the money. For following the money means that you're following somebody who you know has got something. And sometimes they tell you not to follow them. When they tell you not to follow them, it means that they don't want to share with you.
Yes.
So most of the time, if you don't want to get embarrassed, you remain in class or you play with the people that do not have the money. So there were cliques as young as you know, back then. There were cliques of people who had money, or there were people that were coming from affluent families, people that even had, and it was, this kind of luck was not even in the money that you have. It was also in the general luck, because I think if you do not have good school uniform, it means that your family is not able to afford the money to pay for the good uniform. Yes. So it still ties to that. Yes. If you do not have nice slippers, it means that you also do not have the money to do that. So sometimes, I remember they used to shame boys that had kiraka. I don't know if you ever saw kirakas in school. They would actually patch the short. So kijana ametembea nayo, then they take it to a tailor, and then a tailor will have a patch on it. So sometimes they used to actually just make fun of you by doing that.
Because your ass is patched up.
Yeah, because you've got a patch this side and a patch this side.
Yeah.
And it was so embarrassing. I don't think I ever had a patch, maybe one, but it was really embarrassing. So that is my... And then as you grow up, I saw it in school, high school. So high school, I was a day scholar, and then there were boarders. And then these boarders were mostly coming from towns. So they had their fathers in town. And then they would come with a box full of goodies. And they would...
What akirudi wana shopping.
Yes. Yeah. But then it will go past that. There is clearly those that are coming from Nairobi and clearly those that are coming from the village. So I think in high school, we were the case system. Is it called a case system? Ile ya Wahindi. Huh?
Yeah.
Caste.
Ya kunini, eh.
Yeah. So I think in school there were 3. We had borders that were coming from Nairobi and other towns that were like the top of the cream. And then we had borders that were coming from around the village, being the middle class. And then there was the people from the gutter. The gutter are those guys that were not boarders, and they were coming to school every day.
Okay. And there was a clear distinction.
There was a clear distinction.
So how could you tell? It's so interesting that this young, there was able to be like such a segregation even within, children.
Suddenly when you have a resource, you just get the respect that otherwise you'd not have. So it was just the resource. When for us who are in the gutter, we are going to school and we are not even feeling fresh. After walking or biking for 30 minutes, you are sweaty, you are dirty, your shoes are looking a certain way.
Yeah.
So you see, so that is basically what happened. So that is what it was. Anyway, tea is here. I don't know whether tea is here.
Oh.
We should wait a little bit. Tea is here. We told you that Amka Cafe is a place of experiences. The gentleman is coming to give us a huge experience. Sasa atakuja hivi, eh? I don't remember his name. You want to put it, you can come and put it this side. Yes, you can place it this other side. So yeah, I was telling you that is the kind of thing. So this is
Huko Nyakacha mjaona kofi kama hizi bado.
Yeah, but we need to give this guy a mic. We need to give him a mic. Even yeah? Which one?
Naweza disconnect hapa.
Naweza disconnect yangu. Oh, okay.
Very soon.
Chini hapo waje.
Top secure.
Oh, nimpatie, eh? Oh, okay. Wacha nimpatie. He's going to tell us about this coffee. Is it still recording? Can you see it? It's recording? It's recording, eh? All right, good. So tell us, let's know your name and what you're going to give us today.
Okay, first of all, let me welcome you.
Thank you
My name
very
is Wino Kennedy.
Wino Kennedy.
Uh,
Wino Kennedy, Wino, how are you, my friend?
I'm fine, thank you.
From which part of Nyanza?
Kisumu.
Kisumu.
Yeah.
Kisumu where?
In Moroni.
Moroni.
Yeah.
So not so cute. Not Kisumu. Not so much. Kisumu County like in Bali.
Yeah.
Okay,
So today we are going to learn about Paragon.
Okay.
And I believe each one of us here have tried their way of brewing coffee, of which we are having filter coffee, pour over, and many others. But today we are going to try our new way of brewing coffee,
Okay.
which is called Paragon. And what comes to your mind when you hear the word Paragon?
Paragon.
Yeah.
Paragon. I don't know.
Niko nje.
So,
Niko nje.
Paragon definitely is a meticulous way of brewing coffee,
Okay.
whereby you're able to capture all the volatile compound that you're looking inside this coffee. For example, we are having the acidity, aroma, and the flavor.
Oh, wow.
When you're using the Paragon, you're able to extract all the volatile compound. And we are going to start. First of all, we are going to rinse our filter paper. After that,
These are the ones that we're going to be using.
yeah, we're going to serve
To
with those
serve.
cups. Yeah. So first of all, we are going to rinse our filter paper to remove the impurities.
Very nice.
Mhm.
So this one is removing the impurities.
Impurities so that the coffee won't be that bitter.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, we are going to remove that water.
What Majibai.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are going to introduce our coffee. In Amka Cafe, we use two types of coffee. One is natural with anaerobic fermentation, and the other one is carbonic maceration. But today, we are going to use carbonic maceration.
So what's the difference?
So the difference, explaining in a few. So carbonic maceration, basically, it is a wine processing method whereby we take our full cherries from the farm.
Smells almost
After
like
that,
chocolate.
we put it in a tight container, infusing in the CO2 for a period of 7 days.
You infuse CO2 for a period
CO2,
of
7 days. So after every 2 hours, we pump in the CO2. Every 2 hours, CO2. And anaerobic is the version of carbonic, whereby there is no oxygen in, no oxygen out for a period of 7 days.
Okay.
Remember, we are using the natural coffee. We haven't removed the outer skin. The mucilage are intact. So after,
mucilage?
Yeah, the mucilage.
What is mucilage?
Sticky part. When you remove the coffee, you will find the sticky part. So it is intact. It is dried, and you will find the coffee is so sweet, smooth. Can't wait you to enjoy this coffee.
Okay.
So
I love the aroma. It smells so nice.
Karim,
The aroma is good. We're gonna have some milk come up
it best served without milk.
without milk.
Yeah.
Very good.
And again, now we are going to introduce our nuclear ball.
Nuclear ball.
Clear ball.
What
So
is that?
it's a metallic ball infused with the coffee flavor, which enables you to extract the volatile compound. So when you are using it, it's going to delocalize the coffee. so that it can spread this wing. You get the volatile compound that you're looking inside this coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, you know,
That's getting common too.
you know, I'm currently watching. What is that thing for chemistry? Breaking Bad. I'm currently watching Breaking Bad. And all these things.
So we are going to start.
We're doing chemistry.
Yeah.
We're going to time our coffee. It's
Okay.
supposed to go for 3 minutes. So for the first 2 pour, we are going to pass it through the nuclear bowl. And remember, in Amka Cafe, we are very meticulous when it comes to bean processing. We use only rich cherries that are heavier.
What is that?
The rich cherries. So when you are doing the
The
sorting,
picking.
we go and pick the coffee. After that, we sort it through water. The heavy ones, which sinks, are the ones which you are going to pick. The floating ones, we won't use it. We are going to use the heavy one. After that, we put them in a tight container, infusing in the CO2. So that's what you're going to get. Out of 583 restaurants in Nairobi, we are the only people who normally give the best coffee. And you'll be always coming to Amka because like we always stick
Amka.
to our,
Yeah, you can't
we are so intentional in consistency.
Okay. This seems like a very intimate process.
Yeah.
intimate.
It feels like we're making love to coffee.
Exactly.
You have to put sex in everything.
I do. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
This is how babies are made.
So like, for example, let me give you an example. The reason why I'm introducing the Paragon is like you're taking your girlfriend for a first date. You see the way you normally treat her nicely, you're giving her a good experience. This is how you're doing.
You see, I wasn't far off. I wasn't far off.
So we are going to remove our nuclear ball. Then we pour it.
You can track them in the camera with a big camera.
I can't wait you to enjoy this.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I just need that croissant. Butter croissant with it.
In the middle.
Butter
To
croissant. No, butter croissant.
melt.
Yeah, melt. You know, do you have a boyfriend, bro?
Boyfriend.
Girlfriend? My bad.
I'm very straight. I'm very straight.
You're very strict.
Yeah, but
Okay, so now what is going on? This is now the filtration.
so this is the third pour. We have removed the nuclear ball because we want to maintain the temperature of the coffee. Remember, the nuclear ball was frozen. So now we want to maintain the coffee. It doesn't have to be cold, not hot. We are giving it a temperature of 60 degrees so that you can get the aroma, the volatile, everything so clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So what is this
This is the
Thing
local
called-
filtration.
So this is the Paragon. Where
Paragon
it's,
is
yeah,
yeah,
Paragon. This one, after I'm done, I'm going to show you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called Paragon. It's a meticulous way of brewing coffee compared with other ways of brewing coffee.
So how does it compare with the machine?
Absolutely, you can't compare this one with the machine. This is one of the best because you want to know what is happening in this coffee. You want to taste everything. So for you to understand your coffee, you have to go try it with the Paragon, pour over, maybe, yeah. So the coffee is ready, and then you remove it. So this is the Paragon itself.
Oh, the Paragon. So the machine is what is called the Paragon.
Yeah, the Paragon.
Okay.
So when I serve you, please don't taste it. Wait for my instruction.
Wait for your instruction.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Wait for your instruction.
And these cups are so cute.
The cups are so cute.
Yeah.
I wait for your instruction.
Yeah, sure. So you're going to take your coffee, swirl it 5 times.
Swirl it.
Yeah, swirl
The
it.
meaning of swirling. You don't think
Usha picture 5.
So after that, you're going to smell it.
you're going to smell it.
Take a sip. On your first sip, you're going to focus on the tactile.
The taste.
It has a medium acidity, low bitterness, with a clean finish. So on your second sip, you're going to focus on the flavor notes. I don't know how good your You're so good on your tasting palate, but maybe you can help me what you're feeling on the coffee, the flavors. So you're going to get the flavors of blueberry, sweet lime, passion fruit.
Some people come and make me sweet lime. I just feel like it's really, really, really good.
Yeah,
You can tell the difference when it's made now by machine and this.
exactly.
Yeah?
So it's very,
You
very
can tell
smooth.
this is intentional. Like
Yeah.
it's been made with care.
Absolutely. That's why we are saying in Amka Cafe, we are very intentional. When it comes to consistency, we normally maintain our consistency, and that's what we want to give. When you come today, you will sample the same coffee that you get today, you get it tomorrow, next year, every day.
I can get the notes. I can get the sweet lime.
Yeah.
The notes.
It's like a tangerine. It's called Sandra. That one, yeah.
And when I smelled the ground coffee, when we're beginning, I could smell a little bit of chocolatey.
Exactly. It has.
Yes.
You're very correct.
Yeah.
Very correct. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Karibu sana. I'm so glad. I hope you enjoyed the coffee. And
Thank
you're
you so
welcome
much.
to Amka Cafe. My name is Kennedy. Welcome again.
Thank you so much, Ken.
I'm so glad to have you today.
Yeah, can we have some nini? What is it called? Imagine in front of
Sparkling. It's called sparkling water. Sure, let me bring it.
and some wine glasses, eh?
Okay, sure. Let me bring it.
Thank you so much.
Karibuni
Ken.
sana. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
The mic.
Oh.
Might yes. So thank you very much, Amka Cafe. That was beautiful. How did you?
I love it. I mean, the experience felt like when I'm buying perfumes and I'm trying to smell out the notes and the and the fragrance and all that. And it's nice. I think it's really important to know what you're consuming and how it's being made. And I love this. It felt like a very intricate and intimate session. That's how I feel. These are the things I like about living in the city. So many new experiences, so many things. You get so exposed to a lot of beautiful things. So
Yeah.
Thank you, Amka Cafe. That was so beautiful. Yeah, so do we go back to what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
I was telling you. So we are back to the story. I was telling you that. So that was the caste system at the high school, at my high school. So kids basically knew that this is happening, this is not happening, and they can tell. You know, nyinyi amna, sisi tuko nayo, and things like that. And even that kind of those guys, you know, bundling themselves together, it happens even way after school. I think now what happens is that when they start, for example, a lot of my high school, colleagues or fellow students have come. Some of them I wasn't even talking to sometimes back because of that. The differences in resources and in financial muscle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how did that affect you on a personal level and how you view money?
I think you treat money as this thing that does not belong to you, that you are so privileged to have. And even sometimes when you have it, it makes you numb. You don't know how to spend it. You don't know how to move around it. You don't know how to keep it. You are just struggling with money. And sometimes you even feel guilty that, oh shit, I have money and I know this is not me. You understand? You have money, but this is not me. I remember the first time that I got a lot of money, I think it was $7,000. And I think that day was too sunny for me.
How do you mean too sunny?
It was too sunny. It is the first event that I did, CMS Africa Summit, long time ago, 2015, you know? And this is very interesting because I was doing this event and I was reaching out to this organization in the United States. And these ladies, I told them that I want to have this event and I'm looking for a sponsor. And they were very much ready to sponsor us, okay? So then this lady told me on Skype that I should tell her the different packages that we had. and I did not have packages. I wanted them to pay us 200,000 or 100,000, whatever, because we were doing this event at Strathmore University, and we were already given everything that we needed. They wanted us to pay 200,000. I told them that for us, we can't afford that because we are just students. We cannot afford all that money. Citizens are not supposed to be carrying glasses. This is how they break them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, please. You can. So, I started with $7,000 as for us to look proper.
Did you just? What made you say 7,000? Had you done?
No, I didn't tell them to pay 7,000.
Yeah.
I told them that these are our packages, and the highest was $7,000. The highest was $7,000. Thank you very much. The highest was $7,000. So, unbeknownst, so when I sent them this thing, they said we are going to take the $7,000 package to be that was the naming sponsor. So it was supposed to be CMS Africa Summit, and then down there sponsored by company A, company X, and they took that. I remember, but that's not my biggest. That was the second one actually. That was the second one. So they sent that money, and I remember it was too sunny. It was just too sunny. I was like, shit.
Did you feel like people could tell you had $7,000?
Yes, for sure. I was walking in this town. Like,
Kiburi imepanda.
Kiburi haikupanda. It was numbness. It was fear. It was. You do not deserve this money, because we did the event for only 250,000, and you can imagine how much we were remaining
surplus,
with. We were remaining with more excess of 500,000. Yeah. I mean, that was a lot.
Yeah.
But that was my second. My first was actually being paid by Central Bank of Kenya, 425,000. I will never forget. My first big money was 427,000 paid by Central Bank. So these guys knew that I was a web designer, and the Central Bank at that time was having a Joomla website. Joomla is basically a framework for making websites. It's like WordPress, if you know WordPress. So this lady was really struggling with this WordPress to change things, change pictures, change whatever. And so they asked me, this lady called me actually, and she told me that I'm calling you from Central Bank. You know Joomla? I said yes, because I've done Joomla severally. She told me, can you come to the office so that we can talk about this? So I went to the office, into the boardroom of Central Bank, down there, and remember, I used to live at Landimawe.
Yeah.
Landimawe.
This is the time you're living at Landimawe?
Yes, I'm still living in Landimawe.
How did they find you?
They found me online because we were doing an event called Joomla Day. So Joomla Day are the people that love Joomla, and they come together and do Joomla Day to celebrate Joomla Day. So that's how this lady came to know about me. So now I go to Central Bank, and we talk at the Central Bank boardroom. And I'm like, I do not belong here. And you see, I think when you're talking about financial trauma, it invades every part of your being.
Absolutely.
All right?
Not just
it is not just the financial trauma, yes, but it is also about anxiety. It is also about anxiety. It is about looking at yourself like you don't belong anywhere. So it has basically degraded you so much. So anyway, I go there, and we say that this is something I can do. By the way, I was not that kind of expert.
Yeah.
I was mid-level. So they
but you knew your stuff.
Hey, so you need enough, tafadhali. That's too much. So anyway, they asked me, how much do you want to be paid? I said, I have to go and
research.
I can't say this. I can't say this on this table. Yeah. I'm gonna say some ridiculous amount, because in my head, even when she asked me that, in my head I was thinking 50K.
Yeah.
In my head I was thinking 50K.
Yeah.
So I go out and I call some of my friends, and some tell me, Jagero, tell to 1 million. You are mad.
Yeah.
Some are saying, okay, say 600, say 400.
Yeah.
So I went with the 400, and I sent her not an invoice. The one before the invoice is called what? A quotation of 400 and something thousand. And she says, fine, let's go with it. Let's do it.
No negotiation.
Nothing. Nothing.
You feel like you wish you said 600.
The central bank. I wasn't caring how much I would have said, but they said yes anyway.
Yes.
And I went and got somebody who was better than me in Jumla, and we did that job. That work was supposed to be done in a week. The boy did it in 4 days. Went there, taught them. The funny thing about that thing, and even it's so strange that even when people promise you that they were gonna get you money, they take long. And I think that even adds to the anxiety, financial anxiety. So the lady, when I sent her, she told me to send the invoice immediately. Okay? And I remember going to Equity Bank and actually reactivating my account because it was not having anything, and it was not. It's inajifunga.
After kukaa zero for a while.
Inajifunga. So I thought, I was asking my friends, when do you think this money is going to come? Say, you're government. You get ready for 3 months.
Did you think like it was they were either not going to give you the money or?
I didn't think anything. I didn't know anything. I didn't think about anything. So I asked them, and then I remember on Thursday at around 11
AM
40 something. I got a message, and I saw
425,000 shillings has been credited to your Equity Bank account number 43333.
Hiyo pesa nilikula ikuisha. Nilienda nayo Ushago, nikaikula Ushago, aishi. Nikaenda Kisumu, nikaikula Kisumu, aishi. Financial trauma.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so, and then the $7,000 came much later. And for me, after 2015, I've never had serious financial troubles. I have sort of survived, you know. And for me, I learned early on that you really have to go for it. To always, and financial trauma keeps you on the edge of the bed, on the edge of the chair. And I think it's not a good thing because you feel like you are on your own. If you go out there, you don't sleep too much, because if you sleep too much, you're gonna lose it. The next thing is somebody sent you an email and things like that. So that is basically my history of financial.
You know, especially being like an entrepreneur and, you know, doing your own thing, not being employed by anyone. Do you face these anxieties when it's blank for a while, like for months or long weeks? How do you handle that? Because working for yourself is really crazy when you don't know where the money is going to come from or how it's going to come, and you have people that you have to pay that are depending on you, and you have also your own bills. So as someone who's, you know, been struggling or, you know, is overcoming this financial trauma, so now that umefika point, you know, you have the experience of receiving big amounts of money and you've been able to handle it the way you did in the past. Saizi, how are you doing it? Because I guess it's still a real fear. Does the fear go away once you've had enough experience, or is it something you're still battling right now as someone who has hired people as well?
I think it never leaves. It used to be, my financial anxieties used to be, they were too unhealthy in the past. Especially when you know that you're living in a city like this one and you know that you are all alone. And that is why I usually feel like people that have grew up with parents are in a better place. People who have grown up with guardians next to them, and not just guardians that truly love them.
True.
And you know that when you have a problem, you have somebody to go to. If you are having a small flat and your parents are living in Loresho, or your parents are living in Maringo in a 3-bedroomed house, you know very well that if something happens, I take a matatu, I go back to my parents. I think it is sort of different with somebody who you know that when you are thrown out there in the streets because of rent, you're going to sleep on the streets. And I think that makes it a little bit too much for you as a person, and your financial anxieties can really destabilize you and affect you in a way that you are not able to manage. So, for example, for me, over the years, I have never counted Nairobi as home. It's a place that is not nice to me. It's a place that gives and takes, right? So
it takes as fast as it gives.
Yes, as fast as it takes. So you know that this place just loves me when I have something. But the moment I don't have something, because I have so many of my cousins that have literally suffered financial anxiety in this city to the point of just saying, I am leaving. There are people that have come to this city and have left for smaller cities because of the issues of rent. So, for example, if you're going to live in Kisumu, for example, the rent is not as high as this city. You know, there are people who have gone back to the village and are not able to come back here. So even when you see those things happening to other people, you know that you could be the next victim at any moment. So you have to be very careful. And that triggers something, I think, inside of you. You wanna keep searching. You wanna be on the move. Where is the next money? Where is the next opportunity? How can I make sure that I am trying this, so that if this fails, I am already trying this, and this is gonna give you something.
I see that a lot in your personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are constantly trying different things. It's a survival mechanism, I think.
Yeah.
Because when you try different things, you
Haziwezi bafu zote.
Yeah.
Moja lazima iingiane.
so you develop, and it is not entirely healthy, because it puts you under so much pressure and you tend to forget yourself. So that's why these days I just want to cool down. And that is why I was talking to a friend of mine who told me that, Jagero, you need this person in your life, you need this kind of person in your life, you need this person in your life. So that is why right now I have Maria in my life. Yes. I have Signolo in my life. Yeah. I have Collins in my life. I have Peter in my life. Because these things, even though they are costing money at the end of the day, but
they're making your life easier.
They are making your life easier. So, for example, imagine that I was the one that was to go to the office today to make sure that all these equipments are in the car. I go there with my car. I put everything in my car. I transport everything in my car. We forget some sound thing. I drive back there. Yeah. You see, so it is saving you money, but it's saving you about 2,000.
Yes.
That is not what it takes from you.
Yes.
So yeah, that is what. But I want to ask you something yourself, because
ahead.
I feel like you are pretty privileged in the sense that you have your mother and you have your father in the city.
Yes.
And what I've always wanted to know, and I'm very envious, by the way, of people who have their parents still alive. And they're saying, sometimes I call you and, oh, I'm at my mother's. I'm being taken care of, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You see, what are your financial traumas? And I want you to place your parents within it in a positive way. Okay. I don't want you to talk about how they contributed to it, but how they have sort of helped you navigate your financial traumas.
That's a very good question, because I'll talk about both sides, but let me start with the positive. So it's true, having both my parents alive and financially able to...
Is the camera able to see this class? Good.
And financially able to take care not only of themselves, but me, because now I'm absolved of like black tax.
Yeah.
I don't pay black tax because my parents are able to take care of themselves, which is definitely a privilege. And having loving parents also, present loving parents, because that's what my parents are, it definitely sets me apart. It puts me in a very privileged position. It gives me not only like the security and stability and removes all the anxiety, it gives me extra confidence. Even just waking up and doing normal things, I don't have that anxiety of the back of my head that if I fail, imeisha, it's over. I just know I'm okay. There's a feeling of confidence that it gives me. So it definitely puts me way ahead of even my peers who are maybe starting from survival. And I'm able to recognize this privilege because it's something I use on a day-to-day basis. I mean, just waking up and my mom is not saying, nitumia 1,000 niende, already it sets me apart from someone who has to send that 1,000 bob back home. And yeah, it is nice. I can say it feels nice, it feels good. And you're right to be envious because it definitely is a much better feeling than I can imagine being an orphan in the city that, that we've said gives and takes at the same rate. So yes, there's a very, very clear difference. I mean, not just in them giving me money, but just in them being stable enough to take care of themselves. Sina hiyo extra feeling, oh shit, I have to pay this for my dad. If I decide to do it, it's out of gifting and out of extra, not that they need me to give to them. So it definitely sets me apart. In the same breath, these same parents have changied to all the financial anxieties that I have. It doesn't mean that it absolves me of some fears around money, because I truly am struggling also with financial trauma, which is crazy because when I speak with you, Jagero, I feel like you're at such a better position financially, like mentally, with how you handle money, your relationship with money. I think it comes from experience, but I also think you've done the internal work to make sure that you are where you are. I mean, I can see it when I speak with you and when I even hear about you. My issues with money come from a lot of scarcity, because while I grew up in a very financially stable, okay, can I say financially stable? Let me say sikuwai kosa kitu yoyote, sikuwai fukuzwa juu ya school fees, sikuwai kuwa na hizo viraka, those patches in my clothes or anything. I actually had everything that I ever needed. But in the same breath, I grew up in a situation where my parents are consistently fighting about money, talking about the lack of money, complaining about how much things cost. And this has left me in this perpetual state. Ooh, there's some food coming. Is that food or drinks? What is it? Mr.
I hope that you are enjoying that episode, people of the internet. Everybody says there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their own town, in their own city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call fathers, but there are no jobs, right? Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them. I have worked for a long time online, I think more than 10 years. I work for Americans, I work for Europeans, I work for the Chinese, the Australian, Canadians, the Ugandans, name all of them. And last year, I had a eureka moment. I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I have been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a book called Gold Mine, 18 Side Hustles for Africans. And it sold a lot of copies. In fact, sometimes I was receiving 500 orders in a day. In 2025, something happened. AI came. I think in 2025, AI came. AI came in 2024, but in 2025, it is here with us. And people say AI is taking away their jobs. And for me, I'll say false. There are actually AI jobs. Na mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. We now have in my book 25 online and offline side hustles that you can do anywhere in the world, whether you are in the village, whether you are in your small town, whether you're in a marketplace, whether you are in your house, you can do them. In this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance, drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I have made and lessons I have learned over 15 years in this online job market. You can become an executive assistant to busy folks in Europe, America, and Canada. You can also get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. There are many of them, and they're in my book. You can also build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce without a shilling. You can also become an affiliate marketer or an online English tutor. And you can also do tens of AI jobs, and they're all in these books. If you have a job, that is fine, but I know around you there are so many people that are always looking for jobs and at home watching Netflix. Buy this book for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, cousin, husband, who is back at home all day, all night watching Netflix. Okay? Buy it for your friend, that friend who is always asking you for cash. You can buy this book for them. All the information is in the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can go to my website, which is oduorjagero.co.ke. The book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. Or if you're anywhere around the world, the book is $10. So thank you very much. Back to programming.
Ken,
This is an infusion.
this is part 2 of the nice experience.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wacha kwanza Ken atuambie what this
Huyu
is.
jamaa atatumaliza na chakula. Ukanifunga nao. Atatumaliza na chakula. First of all, I want
Tell us what this
no, but I want to ask him first.
Yeah.
I want to ask him first whether the mic, eh? Okay, let me give him the mic. Where is the mic? The mic is here. Okay.
This is cute.
What I want to ask you first is tunaweza changanya na coffee? Unajua, I'm afraid of my stomach, bro.
Yes, absolutely. What I'm giving you is so healthy.
Okay.
So our intention is to serve healthy things.
Okay.
Which has a good result when you're taking it. Like you find most of the people, like most of the restaurant, let me talk about the restaurant. Most of the restaurant, they normally do one type of dawa, which has lemon and ginger, most of the restaurant. But in Amka Cafe, we are very intentional. We normally go an extra mile so that we give the best experience according to the way we've learned about Maslow hierarchy of needs, like self-actualization. We understand more about our heroes, what they want, our customers. So we satisfy their needs. So this is an infusion. Basically, it's made of different types of fruits and herbs. So it has cinnamon sticks, clove, guava, orange, and pineapple. So it has several advantages when you're taking it. Let's say most of the ladies, they normally focus on their skins. They want to appear more, to be seen by men. So what will they take? We've already curated something so nice, like it's called Brain Power. It will help you to smoothen your skin, and you will be like, when you're walking around, everyone will be like, hey, I want to talk to that lady. Yeah, exactly. Because it has several advantages. And again, it is good for antioxidant, which is so good. And again, for calming you down. For men.
Now that we are talking about financial anxiety,
exactly.
this is
one of the best.
This is a financial karma.
Exactly.
You know, okay.
Yeah. Karibu sana. So let me serve you.
Okay.
So here is your corn.
So what? Oh, this is a type of cup.
Yeah, the cup that you're using it with.
I had to finish my
Thank you
coffee.
for giving me the pink one.
Thank you very much.
Karibu sana.
The pink one.
Yeah.
He knew that that's how it's supposed to be. Thank you very much, sir. This is amazing, man.
So you're going to taste it first.
Oh.
Swallow it as usual.
This one we're not swallowing.
You're going to swallow it. So
Financial,
that
for
you
us
can
as
incorporate.
financial insecure people, we don't taste first. Tunakunywa. Because
Karibu.
oh
Itanichoma, ni moto sana.
no.
Not that hot.
Oh.
So you're going to place
Oh,
it
there
here.
we go. Told
Yes,
you.
the whole- Let me
Oh, this
serve
is
you
so
again.
yummy.
It is so good. It is so good. It is really good.
Oh wow. Hey, ni dawa imeenda shule yenyewe.
Karibu sana. Enjoy.
This is so nice.
I'm so glad you're enjoying it.
That's good. That's really good.
Karibuni.
Thank you
sana.
very much,
I
Mr.
appreciate
Owino.
it. Asante.
Thank you very much.
Oh. Wacha niweke Maria kidogo hapa.
Maria.
Asikie utamu wenye tunasikia.
Maria, our fixer.
The girl who makes sure everything is happening for us.
Check mic, is it working? Check mic, is it working? Is it working? Kosawa. All right, good.
Wow.
So
I was talking about both sides of the coin. Yeah?
Okay.
So while I grew up, having everything that I needed, and even more, by the way. My parents really took care. My mom took care of everything.
Yeah.
And she made sure, even extracurricular. By the way, maybe nilikuwa rich kid. Sijui mimi nilikuwa na everything I ever needed and extra. But in the same breath, I grew up in a home where my mom was consistently, because she's a breadwinner and she did everything on her own. And she had sometimes to take up 2-3 jobs, so she was never around. It created a very financially insecure child. And even issues just at home of kukosa, lack, the fear that, yes, we had, but there was always the backhanded fear of itaisha, itachukuliwa, auctioneers watakuja watunyang'anye kila kitu, and then we have to start over again. Everything will be nyakuliwa. So I never really grew up feeling very, very secure about finances. And this has transferred into my adulthood. I usually make sure I have everything I need because I fear, first of all, having to borrow, having to be in a situation where I have to ask anyone for money. If you ask anyone in my life, they will tell you Roberta has never borrowed money. I don't have debts. I don't join anything for loans and credits and anything. I don't ask anyone for money.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and
for you, it's a recipe for disaster.
I know because I grew up seeing my parents get into debts. Not my mom, my dad especially, get into debts, and then us having everything taken away all the time. So for me, it just registers. Even the smallest debt can make my life end in a bit. I'm so scared of taking loans and borrowing money and getting money from where. It just leaves me with this crippling fear. And how it shows up, I like that while you were speaking, you were talking about how these traumas that are showing up in your finances, they're not just showing up in your finances, they kind of metastasize into your whole life.
Yes.
It will show up into your
metastasize.
It will show up in
that is cancer lingo.
Yeah, like spread cancerously, very vigorously. And it will show up in your relationships. It will show up in your friendships. It will show up in your daily life, how you view a lot of things. So it's very crippling. It keeps me stuck a lot of times because I'm always scared of trying new things out. I'm the opposite of you. The way wewe unajua lazima ni try vitu out zi workout. Mi naona nikitry zi workout zi fail.
Yeah.
It might actually leave me dead.
Okay.
So it's interesting how the opposite ways in which we grew up are making us experience financial trauma in the opposite ways that we are right now, and it's showing up in our life. So my next question for you is, what are you doing actively to help you overcome the struggles that you have with money? Is there something that you're doing actively? Are you seeing a coach? Do you watch YouTube videos? Are you just winging it and, learning as you go?
Yeah. I think one of the people that has taught me a lot without teaching me, there are people who teach by action.
Yes.
My wife is very...
secure.
I don't know if that's the word. My wife is very good at finances and how to arrange her stuff. Like she knows this is coming, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming, this is what I expect. And she has spreadsheets on how to handle her finances and the finances of probably sometimes our entire house.
Yes.
She figures them out, So, but then I think it is very important to speak about the two extremities of financial trauma.
Yeah.
And I think this is it can lead to a lot of frugality, or it can lead to a lot of spending like there is no tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So there are people who, once they have had they are used to not having money. So if there is money in the pocket, it is
has
at the
to go.
it is at the wrong place. You
That's
know?
you?
No,
Okay.
that's not me. There are people who have to spend it. Okay, my brother used to say, he still says today, that Jagero, even if he has like 1 million, you will never know
Yeah.
that he has money.
Yeah.
That's different from my brother. My brother has money. You will be seeing him in Kisumu. You will see him. In fact, my brother really loves
Eating
shopping.
his money.
Shopping. He likes shopping. The moment he gets money, he's going to buy a new shirt, a new trouser, a new what. He has to shine when he has the money. That is the opposite of me now. Okay? So there are those that have had so much trauma with money that they do not believe that they can just have like 200 Gs in their pocket. Just go out and buy mboga na mboga skuma na mayai, aende akule na yogurt na halale.
Lazima akuje Amka. Atumie hiyo pesa.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
You know? But it is not very healthy when you have your money. Like a friend of mine just the other day. He came to the office and we were doing this, you know yourself. And Jagero, let's go, and we ate 1, 2, 3. His friends were around. There was a lot of kuchangamka. And then 3 days later, to me a message. Jagero to me sotano hapo. I'm like, this is trauma.
Yeah.
Because he had money over the weekend.
Yes.
Na amekunywa yote. He has used all of it. So sometimes you just believe that you're somebody who shouldn't be having money. Or if you have some money by your side, then it belongs to somebody else. And then there are guys that now just keep it.
I think that's me.
Yeah.
I hoard because I'm always scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep it.
It's and you know, in the example that you've given first, you can think this person is very disorganized. Yes, it is showing up as disorganization, because how do you have money 2 days ago and then you paid for everyone's bill and now you're asking me for 500 bob? Kwani hujajipanga na maisha yako? But it's an actual struggle. It's an actual traumatic thing that this person is going through, and maybe they're not even aware. They just think this is how life is. This is how money goes. We fail to think that there should be a balance, a homeostasis of you should be able to spend while still having enough for yourself for later. Now the other extreme, the next example that you've given is the frugality. I'm not really a miser, but it shows up as selfishness, you know? It's a crippling fear. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just, there's that fear that if I use, and listen, this can happen even if I have 10 million shillings in my account. It's not about selfishness or about being a miser, but that's how it shows up. You just seem like...
you have some already.
Yeah, I have. You just seem like you're consistently scared of using your money for anything. I could have a bill of 150 shillings and I have 10 million bob in my account, but my heart starts beating so fast. I'm just thinking, oh my God, Nikki, withdraw you 150. It's over for me.
Yeah.
So some of the ways that I'm trying to overcome these struggles is, first of all, by admitting that I actually have a problem. And it's something that I need to work on. And something else is, actively spending money on myself. Teaching myself that it's okay to take myself out, to buy nice things for myself. And funny thing is, I don't have this fear when it comes to spending on the people I love. Like if someone asks me, hey, send me some money, I'm very okay. But when it comes to spending on myself, I just feel like it's the end of the world. I cannot buy anything nice for myself because my money is going to be over. So it's really crazy. But I like that we're at the point of awareness where we're able to know what we're struggling with.
I also think that all these things that happen to us, they sort of make us hate ourselves.
That's the ultimate consequence.
You don't deserve an iPhone of 130,000. You do not deserve an Apple Watch. You do not deserve kicks for 10,000.
You don't need to use an Uber.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's very interesting that you will deny yourself so much because of your financial traumas. Like having guilt for having bought shoes for 10,000, having guilt for buying a ring for, let's say, a ring for 5,000, or just going and getting a good meal at Amka Cafe that cost 1,900. And yet you have problems every day that is costing that much.
Yes.
But they are not your problems. Most of the problems are external, actually. They're not your problems.
True.
Hey. So I think one of the things that people need to understand and realize is that the first thing you want to do is to start loving yourself. Because for me, I've been trying to love myself, because I am congratulating myself every day. Jagero, look at what you have done. That boy from the village that used to walk barefoot has done this too, has sat with Roberta, with people who are from rich families like Collins, Kina Signolo. Why are you looking at me? But whatever, even going and occupying places. You see, like right now, we have talked about us talking with the EU ambassador to Kenya to come to dialogues with Jagero. Yeah. Who would have thought? It is a point of congratulations. You congratulate yourself for the things that you can get. When you get to the mall and somebody's looking at you and saying, Jagero, I love the content that you're doing. I received many WhatsApp messages. I was telling you the other day that I didn't know how to react to those kind of things. Yes. Because it goes back to yourself that you don't even know if these people really like you. Like it has.
Oh, you never used to get this attention, then all of a sudden now.
Yes, you're getting all that attention. Then congratulating yourself for having a wife. One of the most difficult things to have is having a wife that you live with.
A happy wife at that.
Well, me, I'll just stop at having a wife.
No, anyone can have a wife.
Whether they are happy or unhappy. I mean, this is selfish. Yeah. This is me having.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Having a daughter. Who would have thought that I would be having a daughter? Who would have thought that we'll be having a podcast that is well known? Who would have thought? Yeah. So I think also starting to celebrate your wins is very important. It helps in you, getting that space where you can start thinking about yourself and loving yourself, and knowing that. And also, I think that we should always just continue doing what we love, doing everything. Like, it is so difficult, for example, to do a podcast, but you wake up and do it every day, knowing that there is a day that is coming, that's around the bend, that things are going to change completely. But things do not change if you do not do things. Constantly over the course of my life, I've always put a seed in the ground. And even when it comes to finances, the reason why we are always struggling with it is because we are never putting seeds in the ground. If you put a seed in the ground, it's going to sprout, it's going to give you a harvest.
True.
So I think that even as we struggle with issues of money, we need to know that money grows on trees. It grows on trees. So, and that tree has to have a seed. Yes. So you have to constantly work on something, and everybody. Even the other day, I was in the village and I was talking to my cousin, who has been trying to set up something for a long time, but he keeps saying, "I'm waiting for a supporter, a funder, a what."
You start without anything.
But there is no funder who is going to plug onto you
if you have nothing.
If you have nothing, something has to give. Something has to start. Something. So.
It's true. Okay, I like that you mentioned, I had started saying, I like that you mentioned this seeps into other areas of your life. And this is where I want to bring in the sex. Sex is largely a very taboo topic in Africa, especially. This is not something we speak about in the open or, very comfortably. We're always hush, hush. That's why in the comment people are saying, you're vulgar. But we're just using normal sexual words. We're talking, it's like
Roberta, you're very vulgar.
I'm not vulgar. I keep it PG. Okay, sometimes. Not on the blog though. But, I truly feel like these are conversations we should have very openly. Like when I speak to maybe my foreign friends from outside Kenya, outside Africa, you'll realize even with the people you've mingled with, discussing things like how much do you make, it's so easy. It's so easy to say, hey, I make $20 by the hour. I make $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. But when it comes to Kenyans, watu wanajificha, mtu anaogopa sana kusema I earn 20,000 a month, I earn 15,000 bob a month. It's so crazy because of that. I think that's a direct consequence of us not being able to discuss finances or sex at home. I even have like my Indian friends. My Indian friend was telling me how it's important I mention where like the nationality because it shows their culture and how they discuss things. She told me when they were growing up, you see at the dinner table, jioni, when the father comes back home, all of you sit at the dinner table together. This is family time where everybody gets a chance to say what they did today, what made them happy today, how they're feeling, so that we can kind of know who's feeling what at home, what's going on, what's the feeling in the house. And then the dad discusses business with everyone at home. Everyone is involved in some way or another. Even if the young boy who's in class 6 is just the errand boy for the business or whatever, it could be a simple shop, but everyone is involved. So everyone grows up knowing about the finances of the home, about the money that's coming into the home and the money that's going. As opposed to Africans, where you kind of just see your parents doing their thing, and then when you turn 18, they release you to go and do your thing. You never really have these conversations around, this is how I make my 1,000 bob, this is what I pay for, skuma ni 50, boga ni hii. We never really have these discussions. So you're thrown out into the world as an adult who has to figure it out. And I see the similarities when it comes to conversations of sex. Most of the things that we've learned about sex, at least for me and my peers, has come from the people around us or porn. Not from active conversations.
Do you watch a lot of porn?
Well, no. I used to, but I stopped.
Why did you stop watching porn?
Because I don't think it's a healthy way to learn about sex.
How are you watching it? Like you guy would be on the sofa and watching? How were you watching porn?
Anywhere in the house, like in my bed when I want to masturbate, or in my house. When I take my toys out and I put them there and I need some motivation. But it's not a healthy way to learn about sex. That's my opinion. I mean, I don't have anything against porn like actively, but it's not something I tell people that you should watch porn. If anything, I think you should reduce your intake of porn because it creates a very skewed perspective of how especially women should be treated in the bedroom. So and most of the ways we learn about sex growing up was from porn or from things that our peers tell us, like if you go kiss a girl, you come and share the story. I kissed a girl last weekend. So that's where we hear the story, and then even me, I go and try, and then I come. But I don't remember having active conversations like with people older than us, or people who knew better, and people who could tell us, so, unaona, ukikuwa na msichana, unamnyonya hivi matiti, alafu unamshika matako, alafu una kiss neck. Ama you guys have had such conversations with anyone? Have you ever had such a conversation with anyone?
With which conversation?
About how to have sex.
No.
And all these years till now, you've never had such a conversation, yeah? But I feel like this should be a normal conversation because how else should I learn? How am I supposed to learn about how to suck a dick? Who's supposed to teach me how to do it?
That's a good question. Who is supposed to teach you how to suck a dick?
We're supposed to know because we're supposed to be talking amongst each other and learning, and there should be education about it, whether it's influencers or people like Morris Madeka, Cars of the Spread Pod, myself of Love and Orgasms. Sisi ndo tumetekio mandate ya kwanza kuteach watu kufanya hizi vitu. But hakuna conversations kama hizi zinaendelea. If you go anywhere and start talking about it, you'll be flagged. My content is consistently being shadow banned because the internet doesn't care whether it's educative, for educational purposes. It just gets flagged as porn, all of it. So this shows how we are really censoring conversations around sex. Because honestly, where else am I supposed to learn? I told you, I've mentioned on this podcast how the inception of Love and Orgasms comes from, me realizing that my pubic hair was growing all the way into my ass. And in school, when we were in class 5...
Say that again. What's going on there? What is she talking about?
Unaona mafudhi zikigrow.
Mafudhi ni nini?
Manywele za pubic area.
Okay, inaitwa mafudhi.
Hiyo ni sheng.
Collins, do you know that?
Mafudhi zikigrow. Ama kwa armpits.
Okay.
You know when the hair...
Let's talk about armpits.
No. Let's have the difficult conversation. You see, it's people always do that.
Okay,
they always try to deflect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we are talking about deflection.
Yeah. It's almost a natural response. When someone mentions, like, for example, sucking dick, we're always trying to, no, let's use other words, but this is the language you use on a normal day. When we are talking about sex, this is how you speak to the next person, right?
Yeah.
So, when I was growing up, I was around 11, 12 years old, and my pubic hair had started coming in. Na ilikuwa inamea mbele vizuri, lakini nika-realize inamea hadi kwa anus. But if you try to remember in the textbooks, when they were writing the symptoms of what is it called? Adolescence.
Okay.
How to know you're becoming an adolescent. They say, like in women, your breasts start to show, your hair starts to grow, you start to... Hizo symptoms zote. Hakuna mali walikuwa nasema nywele inameanga hadi kwa haga. If you try and remember, or even in the textbooks right now... And the symptoms. Collins, can you try and remember?
When your pubic hair is growing, it grows. You mean it grows longer towards the anus, or the ones that grow around the anus?
Around the anus, like even like.
Yes.
In the ass crack.
In the ass crack, yeah.
It was never in the textbooks. They didn't write that part. So imagine me being an 11-year-old girl with hair in my ass.
You are saying it wrongly.
How is it wrong? That's exactly how it is.
No.
That's exactly how it is. That's the reality.
You know, when you are saying it, it looked like the one that on the pubic hair are the ones that are growing longer into.
No. I mean,
but
like,
these are completely an independent growth. It is very important to have it there.
Yeah, see, hiyo sasa ndo nasema.
Yes.
See, it happens for men and women.
Exactly.
But it was never in the textbook.
Oh, yeah.
So, imagine being 11 years old. You know the shock I had? I thought something was wrong with me.
Oh, yeah?
You know, I thought, I'm a man.
Oh.
Something is wrong with
me. That was really dramatic.
You know, and I couldn't go ask my mom or my parents or the teacher in school who was teaching us about these things. I couldn't tell them, hey, najua mlisema nywele inameanga tu kwa pubic area, but how come yangu inamea mpaka kwa? It was scary for me. So that's the reason I started Love and Orgasms, because I wanted us to have these conversations very openly. I need us to talk about it and say it the way it is. Because I had no reference point. I didn't have a phone that I could Google. I didn't have aunties I could ask. And I can't ask my peers because it seems shameful. How am I going to start asking 11, 12-year-old kids, when you lako pia inamea kwa us? I felt like it was a unique experience happening to me alone. So this is the reason why I do what I do. It's not just porn. It's not just about the sensationalization of sexual stories. It's actually very educational. It's about, okay, you meet a man and he's telling you, give me a hand job. What's a hand job even? How is it even supposed to be done? Who was supposed to teach you? Or where were you supposed to learn it? You meet someone, you're 16 years old, you guys are having such... And we also have to stop acting like teenagers are not having sex. Because even as young as 9-year-old kids are participating actively in sex amongst their own age, not even at rape or anything. That's happening as well, but amongst their own ages, 9-year-old kids are having sex with themselves. So if you're not having these conversations actively, because you're assuming everyone waits till they're 18 years old to participate in sex, Do you see how it's putting us at a very disadvantaged situation? That's why you become an adult who knows nothing about sex. In fact, you go into sex very afraid because you don't even know sex is supposed to be free. And we had Javan Kado on the podcast, and he was talking about how venye watu wengi who have sex, especially within the confines of religion, sometimes they feel a lot of shame and guilt around sex. So they think sex is supposed to be had only usiku, in the bedroom, alone. It's supposed to be missionary, and you're supposed to be under the covers, na mmezima stima ndo msionekane na mnafaa kunyamaza ndo msisikike. That's how some people are having sex forever, for the rest of their lives. They don't know you can be by... Unaweza sundu hapa kwa hii sela hivi upinduliwe na ukwe bent over na uscream.
Na wine zimwagike.
Zote. They don't know that you can do that. They don't know there's different positions or there's different ways to achieve, pleasure. And I think us not having conversations around sex and money is creating very inexperienced adults.
Do you think they're one of the most important drivers of our lives? Sex and money.
I think
could be.
I think when we had the conversation about pain and pleasure, I mentioned that pleasure and pain have to balance. They have to have a homeostasis in your brain, which means the same way you're going through mashida za maisha, the same way unafaa ukwe very intentional about achieving pleasure. Money, food, sex, drugs, all these things bring pleasure to some extent. So pain will always find you. You don't have to look for it intentionally. Pain, bad things happen all the time. But pleasure is something you have to seek out intentionally. Sasa hiyo example ya sex, money, I don't want to mention drugs all the time, but drugs, you know how you have a glass of wine, you end up feeling nice a bit tipsy, una enjoy maisha kidogo. So yes, it is sex and money are definitely part of the pleasures of life. But these are things that we have to know more about. It's not just automatic. We need to stop thinking. Actually, we need, as parents, I think parents need to be very intentional. We need to stop assuming that hizi ni vitu zenye mtu tu anagrow anafika 18 and then boom, they know how to have sex. They know how to make money. That's why I'm pushing 30 and still very anxious about money. But I know if I grew up, despite having the privilege, you see I'm still suffering, like struggling with the financial traumas. But if I grew up in an environment where conversations were being had easily, we were talking about money and sex, and my parents were very open. I'm not blaming them. They just didn't know better. They didn't have the information, or probably they didn't know this is what they're supposed to do. But I'm saying now we are more exposed. We're at a position where we have the internet. You have to teach yourself. Even you with your daughter, you have to start preparing yourself to start having these conversations about, baby, this is how I make money. This is how money comes into the house. This is how
at least with that we are doing really well. So sometimes when our daughter does something in the house, we tell her, we want you to do A, B, C, D, and then we'll pay you this much. Yes. And she has a piggy bank where she earns and puts her money. And at the end of the day, she uses it to buy something. Yeah. I think, and that's a lot of credit to the mother, because the mother is the one who has come up with that. I've just plugged into it, but I think I would not have thought about it on my own.
That's really smart. It will teach her to invest, to save at a very basic level, to spend. She'll not be afraid to spend money for herself or on herself, or even within the home. So it's very beneficial, I think. So guys, thank you so much for joining us here at Amka Cafe. Hey, dawa ni tamu. Sijoi kunywa dawa tamu kama hii.
Is it
It's very nice. It's very tasty.
It's very nice. Yeah, I really loved it. So I really loved it.
Thank you so much for joining us through the hour. This conversation, you may get deep. To may have to and to dig into our past and just try to remember all these things that have happened to us. So thank you so much for joining us here at.
We are on our road to 100,000 subscribers.
Please keep subscribing, keep watching, keep sharing, keep loving us, keep leaving us comments. I told you we read all your comments, and we really truly appreciate all the feedback. This topic was financial trauma and just how we struggle, but we're still making it work. You know, we are still learning as we go, and we're still growing. So thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, I've been Roberta Bobbie, your host, with Odor Jagero.
Yeah, thank you very much. People of the internet, we are on our road to 100,000. Please consider subscribing. Subscribing to this channel, Dialogues Jagero, it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, it's
It is
free.
only going to give us a lot of love. And we can't wait. We can't wait to have that silver plug from YouTube. We're also going to be having an event around it to celebrate it, to say that we started at zero subscribers, but now we are on to 88,000.5, 88,500 followers. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Until next time.
Bye for now.